scared who I was till I put on the mask.
63 goals in 58 league games. 2 league titles, 2 golden boots. These aren't just stats, they're the footprint of a striker at the absolute peak of his powers. A force of nature who conquered a league and became a legend in just 2 years. This is Viktor Gyökeres. But here's the twist. This is the very same striker who, just a few years ago, was basically written off in English football. The same player who made only a single Premier League appearance for Brighton and Hove Albion and couldn't buy a goal for Swansea City.
So how did a forward once lost in the wilderness of the Championship become the undisputed king of Portugal? How did he become the man Arsenal believes is the answer to their title prayers? A man they staked a reported £55 million on. The answer isn't just about hard work. It's the story of a relentless, unstoppable playing style, honed in the shadows and now unleashed on the world's biggest stage. This is the incredible rise, fall and rise again of Viktor Gyökeres. So, in the summer of 2025, after a transfer saga that had everyone talking, Arsenal finally got their man. Viktor Gyökeres didn't just arrive at the Emirates as a new signing, he arrived as a statement. When they handed him the iconic number 14 shirt, once worn by the club's greatest ever goalscorer, Thierry Henry, the message was crystal clear. This is the man tasked with firing Arsenal to glory. The pressure is off the charts. That £55 million fee makes him one of the club's most expensive signings ever. It looks like a massive gamble on the player who, until 2023, had never truly lit up a top-tier European league. But for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, it wasn't a gamble. It was a calculated investment. They weren't just buying the goals he scored for Sporting CP. They were buying the journey that created them. They were buying the resilience forged in failure and the unique, devastating skill set that made him one of the most sought-after strikers on the planet. To really get why Arsenal paid that much, and why Gyökeres is now shouldering the hopes of one of the world's biggest clubs, we have to go back to the beginning. Back to a time when the goals had dried up, and the Premier League dream seemed dead and buried. Every great story has a chapter of struggle, and for Viktor Gyökeres, his was long and humbling. It all started with so much promise. After breaking through at his boyhood club IF Brommapojkarna in Sweden, where he scored a solid 20 goals in 62 league games, he earned a dream move to the Premier League with Brighton in 2018. This was supposed to be it, the launching pad for a huge career. Instead, he hit a brick wall. In 3 years on Brighton's books, Gyökeres made just one single appearance in the Premier League. He was a ghost, a name on a roster but never on a team sheet. To get any minutes, he was sent out on a series of loans that would test the resolve of any young player. First up, a move to Germany's second division with St. Pauli. It was a decent spell, if not spectacular. He played, scored 7 goals in 26 games, and showed flashes of what he could do, but it hardly screamed future superstar. Then came the move that could have broken him. A loan to Swansea City in the English Championship for the 2020-21 season. This was his chance to finally prove himself in England. He had the physique for the league and everyone expected him to thrive. He didn't. In 11 league appearances for the Welsh club, Gyökeres failed to score a single goal. He looked completely lost. His confidence shot. The book on him was written. A decent prospect who just wasn't cut out for the ruthless English game. He was recalled by Brighton mid-season and immediately shipped out again, this time to a mid-table championship side, Coventry City. Nobody could have predicted that this move, which felt like another step backward, would be the one that changed everything. For Viktor Gyökeres, Coventry wasn't just another club, it was a sanctuary. For the first time in his senior career, he found a manager and a system that truly, completely believed in him. The club made his loan permanent in the summer of 2021, and the transformation was instant and absolutely staggering. The hesitant, goal-shy striker from Swansea was gone. In his place was a monster. In his first full season, 2021-22, he smashed in 17 league goals, instantly becoming the team's talisman. He wasn't just a big forward anymore, he was the focal point of their entire attack. The next season, 2022-23, he hit a whole new level. He bagged 21 goals and crucially racked up 12 assists, proving he was a lethal goalscorer and a creator. He was simply unplayable. Defenders couldn't cope with his mix of pace, power and smart movement. He was named the Championship Player of the Month and was, by a mile, the most feared forward in the league. He single-handedly dragged Coventry, a team with one of the smallest budgets in the division, into the promotion playoffs. His journey led him to Wembley for the playoff final against Luton Town, the richest game in football. The dream of a return to the Premier League, the league that had chewed him up and spat him out, was just 90 minutes away. The final was a brutal, tense affair that ended 1-1. It went to penalties. When it was his turn, Gyökeres stepped up and with ice in his veins, buried his spot kick. But football, as it so often does, had a cruel twist waiting. Coventry lost the shootout, their dream dying in the most heartbreaking way possible. Though he left that pitch devastated, Gyökeres had proven his point. He was far too good for the championship, and Europe had been watching. One club in particular was ready to make him the star of their show. In the summer of 2023, Sporting CP paid a club record 20 million euros to bring Viktor Gyökeres to Lisbon. Many saw it as a risk. Could a player who had only ever truly excelled in England's second tier make the leap to a title-chasing European-level club? Gyökeres answered that question with a resounding, record-shattering yes. From the second he stepped onto the pitch in Portugal, he was a revelation. He announced his arrival with a goal and an assist on his league debut and simply never looked back. His first season, 2023-24, was the stuff of legends. He scored an incredible 29 league goals, winning the coveted Bola de Prata as the league's top scorer and firing Sporting to the Primeira Liga title. He was also named the Primeira Liga Player of the Year, cementing his status as the best player in the country. He wasn't just a success, he was a phenomenon. His unique masked goal celebration became iconic, the symbol of a predator who had found his perfect hunting ground. And if his first season was legendary, his second was almost unbelievable. In the 2024-25 campaign, he was even more ruthless, even more dominant. He plundered an astonishing 34 goals in just 30 league games, winning a second straight Bola de Prata and leading Sporting to another league title. In just 2 seasons in Portugal, he had transformed from a championship star into one of the most prolific goal scorers in the world. He became a living legend in Lisbon, but in doing so, he also became a massive target. Every major club in Europe wanted him, but only one had the conviction and the cash to make it happen. His redemption arc was complete. The Premier League, the league that once slammed the door in his face, was calling him back, not as a hopeful kid, but as a superstar. Before we break down the tactical details that make him a defender's worst nightmare, if you're enjoying this analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss our deep dives on football's biggest stories. So, what is it that makes Viktor Gyökeres so damn good? How did he evolve into the complete forward that commanded a £55 million fee? It comes down to a combination of 5 key attributes that create a truly unique and devastating striker. Let's start with the obvious. Gyökeres is an absolute physical specimen. Standing at 6'2", he has a powerful frame that he uses to bully and dominate defenders. He's incredibly strong, able to hold the ball up under crazy pressure and shield it to bring teammates into the game. But here's what makes him special. Unlike a lot of big target men, that strength is paired with explosive acceleration and terrifying top speed. This combo is a tactical nightmare. He's too strong for defenders to outmuscle and too fast for them to catch in a foot race. This means he can hurt you in multiple ways, playing with his back to goal like a classic number 9 or spinning in behind to stretch the defence. It's this rare blend of elite power and elite pace that his entire game is built on. But being a physical beast alone doesn't make you world class. Gyökeres' greatest weapon is arguably his brain. He has a masterful understanding of space, and he's known for his signature runs into the channels. Instead of just standing on the central defenders, he makes these perfectly timed curved runs into the gap between a centre-back and a full-back. This does 2 brilliant things. First, it drags a central defender out of position, which creates huge gaps for other attackers to exploit.
Second, it gets him one-on-one against the defender out wide, where he can use his pace and dribbling to cause chaos. He's also a master at attacking the blind spot of defenders, arriving late and unmarked at the back post for an easy tap in. This isn't just running hard, it's calculated, intelligent movement designed to systematically pull a defense apart.
Once he gets a chance to score, Gyökeres is absolutely ruthless. His ball striking is top tier and he can generate incredible power from almost no backlift. He scores every type of goal you can imagine. Thunderous long-range rockets, clever place finishes into the corner, and scrappy predatory tap-ins. One of his most underrated assets is that he's genuinely two-footed. While he's mainly right-footed, he is more than capable of scoring with his left, which makes him a nightmare for defenders in one-on-one situations. You can't just show him onto his weaker side, because that foot is just as likely to fire the ball past the keeper. What really elevates Gyökeres from a great goal scorer to a complete forward is what he does outside the penalty box. As those 12 assists in his final season at Coventry prove, he is way more than just a poacher. He's great at dropping deep to get the ball, using his strength to hold off the defender before turning and driving forward. His dribbling isn't always elegant, but it's brutally effective. He uses his power and deceptive changes of direction to just burst past challenges, often carrying the ball from the halfway line deep into enemy territory. This ability to score, create, and carry the ball makes him a one-man attack, capable of making something happen out of absolutely nothing. Finally, in today's game, a striker's job doesn't stop when their team loses the ball. For a coach like Mikel Arteta, a high work rate is completely non-negotiable. And this is another area where Gyökeres shines. He is an energetic and smart presser. He uses his speed to close down defenders and keepers in a flash, and his tactical awareness allows him to curve his runs to cut off passing lanes, forcing opponents into mistakes. His incredible stamina means he can keep this intensity up for a full 90 minutes, constantly harassing defenders and turning defense into attack in an instant. It's the final piece of the puzzle that makes him the perfect all-around modern striker. Which brings us back to Arsenal. For seasons, despite all their beautiful build-up play, they've been crying out for one thing: a clinical, physical, all-round number 9. They needed someone who could not only finish the chances they create, but also offer a totally different option. The guy who could fight, hold up the ball, and score the ugly goals when the slick passing wasn't working. Every single one of Gyökeres' attributes seems tailor-made to solve Arsenal's biggest problem. His runs into the channels will be a dream target for passers like Martin Odegaard. His physicality will give them a weapon against the deep, stubborn defences that have frustrated them so often. His clinical finishing is exactly what they need to turn tight draws into wins. And his relentless pressing is a perfect match for Arteta's high-energy system. He isn't just a new striker, he is the tactical solution. By taking the number 14, he invites comparisons to Thierry Henry, but he is a different beast entirely. He's not the elegant, gliding forward of the past. He's the powerful, all-conquering striker of the future. The journey of Viktor Gyökeres is one of modern football's greatest stories of pure perseverance. From the rejection at Brighton to the despair at Swansea, from the heroics at Coventry to the coronation in Lisbon, his career is a testament to what happens when talent is fused with an unbreakable will. He has proven that you can be overlooked and written off, but true quality will always find its way to the top. Now he stands in the Premier League, the one league he failed to conquer, as the undisputed main man for a club desperate for a title. The story of the reject is over, the story of the Redeemer has just begun.